we need to pay attention to that equal sign. Whatever we do new, add, subtract, multiply, or divide to one side, we will need to do the same to the other. But before we get there, we will simplify. Just as before, simplifying means, so far for us, remove parentheses by multiplying. There are a couple other things it can mean. It could mean clear fractions because we don't like them, so we would get rid of them. It could mean getting rid of decimals too. It always means combine like terms. Only on the same sides of the equal signs. We don't cross that equal with terms while we're simplifying. So for us, so far, we're only using the removing parentheses and the combining like terms. All right, so there's our parenthesis, 3 times x and 3 times 5. Don't lose this 1 here. That's a place we go wrong, is just forgetting to write stuff down. Okay, I will simplify. 3 times x is 3x. 3 times 5 is 15, and we have that plus 1. Not done simplifying over here. We have like terms. We have 2 terms that do not have variables. That makes them like each other. So we have 3x and 15 plus 1 is 16. Now looking at this side, we only have a minus 11 here. There's no work to do, so I am done with the work there. I'm going to put my equal sign and copy down the minus 11. Fully simplified now. Now we are moving to solve. Solve is add or subtract to get variables on the left of your equal sign, and add or subtract to get constants on the right. Remember, a variable is your x or y term. A constant is a term that does not have a variable. So there is an x term here on the left already. There are no x terms over here on the right. So we're good with this step. It's already done. Moving to this one, we're going to add or subtract to get constants on the right. I have a constant on the right here, a term without a variable, but there's also one here on the left, and we want all of the constants to be on the right. So I'm going to target this positive 16. Do the opposite to get rid of it, minus 16. Whatever I do to one side of that equal sign to keep it the truth, hopefully, I do to the other side. 16 minus 16 goes to 0, so on this side, I have just 3x left. Negative 11 and negative 16. I'm adding the same signs. It's like I owe you $11 and then I borrow 16 more. So I don't owe you less. I owe you even more than I did before. So this is still negative. 1 and 6. Now I'm owing you $27. All right, so we've done that step. Now we have one more step. We need to get x entirely alone, and this is multiply or divide to get x alone. If the number is right next to the letter like this, that's a division. If the number was under the letter, that would be a multiplication to get rid of it. If you had a number like this, that would be both a divide by 2 and a multiply by 3, or times the flip. Now, those are just side notes. If you want more explanation on those, please let me know. But for this problem, I would be dividing by 3 because this is 3 times x. The opposite is divide. So if I divide one side of this equal sign by 3, I must go and divide the other side by the exact same number. 3 divided by 3 is 1. So now I have 1 times x. Negative 27 divided by 3 is negative 9. See if I can give us some more room. 1 times x is x equals negative 9. So we're looking pretty good. This is the kind of answer you're used to, called conditional. But before we know for sure that it's conditional, that this is an answer that will make our sentence true, we need to go back and plug it in. There are some problems that come out looking like they're conditional, but when you plug the answer in, it does not give you a true statement. When you plug a conditional answer in to the original equation, you should get an identity. Remember, identity is a number equals itself. So I'm going to go back up here. 3 times x plus 5 plus 1 equals negative 11. And I am going to plug in my conditional answer to make sure this is true. So 3 times, put in that plus 5. Right here, where there was an x, I put some parentheses to safely plug that guy into, and I'm going to plug in negative 9. So 3 times. This time we're not doing the same process to solve. We are following order of operations. So this is negative 9 plus 5. There's no work for me to do to remove that set of parentheses I plugged the negative 9 into. 3 times negative 9 plus 5 is negative 4. Okay, so parentheses inside to outside. My next step would be exponents. We have none. My next step would be multiply or divide. I have this multiplication right here. 3 times negative 4 is negative 12 plus 1 equals negative 11. Following the order of operations, I have an addition to do. Negative 12 plus 1 is negative 11 equals that negative 11. So if a conditional statement like that sentence is true if x is negative 9, if it's an accurate statement, when you plug it in, you will get an identity like we did. Negative 11 equals negative 11 is true. So this is indeed a conditional statement. Conditional, remember, says this equation is a true sentence only when x is negative 9. Conditional statements can have a few answers that make it true, but not all the answers. And there has to be at least one that makes it true.